What's up, everyone? And today I'm bringing a deck profile on my Vylon deck. Now, Vylon is a very interesting deck. It has a kind of like it works with the equip spells, and the monsters themselves can become equip cards. It also uses unions and some other stuff. It's a very interesting deck, to say the least. Would I say it's a competitive deck? Not even close. But there's definitely some cool stuff that you can do with this deck. Now, before we get into the video, I'd just like to mention to subscribe, because about 90% of the people watching this video are not subscribed. And let's fix that by hitting that subscribe button. And without further ado, let's get right into the video. First, I run 3 Vylon Cube. Vylon Cube, when it is sent to the graveyard for a synchro summon of a light monster, you can add 1 equip spell from your deck to your hand. Now, that is not once per turn at all. This is whenever it happens. Unfortunately, it has 800 attack, so it doesn't have any synergy normally with machine duplication, but I actually found a way around that. Next, I run the 3 Vylon Sphere. If it's sent from the monster zone to the graveyard, you can pay 500 life points, target a face-up monster you control, equip this card to it, and you can send this equip card to the graveyard, target 1 equip spell in your graveyard, equip that target to the monster this card was equipped to. So essentially, whenever it's sent to the grave, where it's like, let's say you link summon it away, it becomes material for that monster, and then you can send it to the grave to add back 1 of your equip spells. Also in the 1 Vylon Tetra. Similar to Sphere, if sent from the monster card zone to the graveyard, you pay 500 life points to target face the monster control, equip this card to that target. Unfortunately, it doesn't really do anything fancy like Sphere, like to where you can send it to add a equip spell from grave to hand, but it's pretty neat as a one-of. Next, I run 3 Vylon Prism. Vylon Prism is kind of the same thing as Tetra, only the monster it is equipped to gains 1000 attack during the damage step, and it has a higher base attack. And with it also being a level 4, you can also use it for rank 4 plays. Next, I run 3 Vylon Pet Touch Lord. Now, Pet Touch Lord is actually a union monster. This is the first time I've ever seen any union monsters outside of ABC. Now, Pet Touch Lord has a cool effect. When it's equipped to a monster, and that monster attacks and destroys that monster by battle, you can target 1 card your opponent controls, destroy that target. So it's destruction when the monster it equips to destroys the monster by battle. Next, I run the 1 Tesseract. Tesseract, if the monster this card is equipped to destroys the monster by battle, you can target 1 level 4 or lower Vylon monster in your graveyard, special summon it. So it's kind of like a Monster Reborn-ish. I don't really max out on this, mainly because it's 800 attack. Although, if you do want to say bump this up, maybe take out like another Tetra, that's not exactly a bad idea. So this is one I've been thinking about bumping up, but right now I have it at 1. Next, I run 3 Goblin Berg. Now, when I first read this card, I'm like, why are you running this in this deck? Then I realized this deck is not very good at getting monsters out, so you kind of really need the Goblin Berg. Goblin Berg, when it's normal summon, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower monster from your hand, then change this card to defense position if you activate this effect. So essentially, let's say you have this Imprisonment in hand, that's a free rank 4. So it definitely does help. It does eat up your normal summon, but you get more off of it in the end. Next, I run 2 Galaxy Soldier. I have another Galaxy Soldier coming, but I honestly just didn't feel like waiting for it. Galaxy Soldier is a very good card. You send another light monster from your hand to the graveyard, special summon this card from your hand, and when this card is special summoned, you can add 1 Galaxy monster from your deck to your hand. So essentially, when you summon it, you can just add the other copy back from your deck to your hand. Moving on to the spells. First, I run 3 Vylon Element. Vylon Element, when 1 or more face-up Vylon equipped cards you control is destroyed, you can special summon an equal or lower number of Vylon tuner monsters from your deck. They cannot be used as synchro material for monsters except for Vylon monsters. So let's say you have 3 equipped spells on the field, and your opponent destroys all 3 of them. then you can special summon that many tuner Vylon monsters from your deck. So it can be very good at times. Next, I run 3 Vylon Segment. This can only be equipped to a Vylon monster. It cannot target your opponent. It cannot be targeted by your opponent's monster effects or trap effects, so it gives some little protection. And if it's sent from the field to the grave, you can add 1 Vylon spell card from your deck to your hand. So it can replace itself or give you another copy of either Filament. If the equipped monster attacks, your opponent cannot activate any spell trap cards until the end of the damage step. And if it's sent to the grave, you can add a Vylon spell card, like Vylon Component. This one, if it attacks the defense position monster, which is unlikely, it does piercing, but you mainly use it for the secondary effect when it's destroyed. Add a Vylon spell card. Now for some generic spells. I run the 3 Acts of Despair. The equipped monster gains 1,000 attack, and when this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you contribute 1 monster, place this card on the top of your deck. So it also works in tandem with the other Vylon equipped cards, because when they are sent to the graveyard, they can search the Vylon spell. Now a bit of something that I run differently compared to most other Vylon deck profiles is that I run 2 Cursed Armaments. Now you probably never even heard of this card. Probably because it's a bad card. But it works in this deck. First, the equipped monster loses 600 attack for each monster you control. So you're losing attack. And when it's sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, equip it with this card. Not really all that great, but by allowing some of your monsters to lose 600 attack, that makes them... You can basically use machine duplication on more of your monsters. Right now, Sphere and Pentach Lord are the only 2 you can use as machine duplication targets. Both Cursed Armaments, Q becomes a dupe target. And if you add more of any of the others, they can become that as well. Speaking of machine duplication, 3 machine duplication. I also run 3 Pot of Desires for draw power. 1 Union Hanger, because you do run unions in this deck. A double or nothing, and a 1-for-1 to round out the main deck. Moving on to the extra deck. I run 1 Vylon Epsilon. Vylon Epsilon's not really the one you're going to go into the most, because the only effect it gets is equipped cards equipped to this card cannot be targeted by spell traps or spell trap effects or monster card effects. And once per turn, you can send 1 equipped card equipped to this card to the graveyard to select 1 monster your opponent controls, destroy it. Just a little bit of destruction. I also run the 1 Vylon Alpha. Vylon Alpha, when it is synchro summon, you can target 1 equipped spell card in your grave, equip that target to this card. So it gets your equipped spells equipped to a monster. Again, like Epsilon, not really too powerful. Now I run 2 Vylon Omega. Vylon Omega, when this card is synchro summoned, destroy all face-up monsters that were normal set, and once per turn, you can target 1 Vylon monster in your graveyard. You equip that target to this card, and during either player's turn, when a monster effect is activated, you can send 1 equipped card equipped to this card to the graveyard, negate the activation. If you do, destroy that. So if you can bring out more than 1 of them, it gets pretty good, although getting an Omega out is not exactly easy. That's why I only run 2. Also run the 1 Power Tool Dragon. You can reveal 3 equipped spell cards from your deck. Then your opponent randomly adds 1 of them to your hand, and you shuffle the rest back into your deck. And as this card would be destroyed while equipped with an equipped spell card, you can send 1 of those cards to the graveyard instead. So it's really good at getting your equipped spells to your hand. Next, I run the 1 Borlo Savage Dragon, because it's just a generically good synchro, much like Formula Synchron, Stardust Charge Warrior, and a Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. Yeah, I actually pulled one, believe it or not. So go check out the video where I pulled it. I'll have the links in the description. For XCs, I run 1 Utopia and 1 Utopia Double, because this deck can be kind of slow. And if you have the opportunity to go for Utopia Double, go for it. I also run the 1 Dugaris. Dugaris is a draw power. The 1 Link Rebo. The 1 Platinum Gadget. I actually found out that I went into Platinum Gadget quite a bit. and Crystalline Halki Fibrax to round out the extra deck. So let me know, what do you think of Vylon? Do you think it's a pretty cool deck? Do you like the art? Are you impressed that I actually pulled this? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video I make. Bye.